On to the Guardians. The train keeps rolling right along, 43-22, coming into tonight's second game against the Reds. Beating them last night 5-3. Currently have the third best record in the AL, 5.5 ahead of Kansas City, 9 ahead of the Twins. Some good news is a lot of reports saying that Dolan has given the green light to be aggressive at this trade deadline and add payroll, thanks to the booming attendance early in the season. And I think it was Jim Bowden reported that the word around the league with other GMs is that Antonetti's calling around seeking a mid-rotation starting pitcher and a corner outfielder with some pop. So they're not looking to just add one piece. And if you can get both of those, I mean, I think that would be huge. I don't know. I know Luis Robert from the White Sox is available. That would be hell of an addition. I don't see the White Sox trading within the division, but
but he doesn't have any pop. Doesn't he have he has one home run this year, doesn't he?
I would just like to see the dude stay healthy.
Or am I thinking of Arias?
I don't know. I know he was hurt this year. I know he's had some pop in the past. Let me look him up real quick.
Anything from the White Sox feels toxic.
Yeah,
Right now, yeah. He has 5 home runs, and he's only had 55 at bats this year because of an injury.
You're right.
But the fact that they're looking to add to the rotation and the lineup is a very good sign. It shows that they know what they have, they believe in this team, and they want to make a run this year.
He had 38 home runs last year in 145 games.
Yeah, when the dude's healthy, he's a stud, and he's only 26 years old.
Right, but the 3 years prior to that, he had 12, 13, and 11. So I don't know if I want to take a flyer on a guy who's had one good year if we're going to be giving up a ton of prospects. Although should have also said the first place Cleveland Guardians, who also have the first pick in this year's MLB draft.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Trying to say we're going to trade that pick at the deadline?
No one cares about MLB picks.
Yeah, not quite.
They're trying their damnedest.
I got a really good friend. Shout out! I'll give him a shout out. His name is Brian Pellegrini. He's the head coach for Willoughby South varsity baseball out in Willoughby. And he was drafted the same year, actually ahead of Albert Pujols by the Houston Astros. And he actually was a hell of a player. Unfortunately, he the injury bug caught up to him, but he was really getting the crap out of the ball down in the minors. But the injury got him. But no, Pujols was taken late, a bunch of rounds later than he was, and Pujols is one of the best players of all time. So you never know. But you got 2 guys out there right now, and Charlie Condon and Joey Bonzana.
Travis Bonzana. Yeah.
Travis, my bad. And it's going to be one of those 2.
Yeah.
I personally like Bonzana better.
Really?
He can steal bases.
Yeah. I'm a home run guy, so I like Condon.
Yeah, but Bonzana's right there with him.
He is.
So you're not. I mean, they're kind of the same player. They're both I think 166, 164, something like that. I mean, the only difference that you see in their stats is stolen bases, really. From Bonzana, and then a couple more homers from Charlie Condon, but
yeah,
that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Some good news on the pitching front. Gavin Williams is set to make his 4th rehab start Saturday. He's been looking good. No pain in the elbow, so he should be back hopefully within the next week or so. And then another starting pitcher who they had probably would have been up here had he been healthy is Joey Cantillo. Just came back, just made a 2nd rehab start. I think it was last night, and actually looked really good. So, there's another lefty option for the rotation as well that they may have in another couple weeks. So, it's going to be interesting. Like I said, it looks like they're going to be aggressive at the deadline. I've kind of kind of in the back of my mind, I've been like waiting for them to come down to earth, and they just aren't doing it. I mean, they just keep winning, and you got to think they're for real by now. I mean, it's June, and they're still playing at this level, but they do have a tough schedule coming up, one of the toughest schedules the rest of the season. So some reinforcements would probably be beneficial. All right.
Is there anyone out there that you think is available outside of like Luis Roberts that you would say, you know what, I will give up a sizable package to get this player?
It looks like the Blue Jays are cleaning house, or going to clean house.
I do not know if there's anyone from the Blue Jays who I think would make a big difference.
Vladimir Guerrero.
Even he's having a rough season right now. And where are you going to play him? We have a better version of Vlad with Josh Naylor right now.
That's the problem. You need an outfielder, and he's not an outfielder.
Yeah. You know who I was like, you know what, if they start going down, someone who I would try to go after, but then they just came I think it was player voted, and it was the most overrated players in the league, and the players voted for Jazz Chisholm Jr. and I was like, oh, that'd be a guy who I think would be a good addition to the Cavs. Put like Quan 1, Jazz 2, Jose 3, like that. Then it came out, and everyone's like, all the players like, oh, he's overrated. I think they're just haters.
I'll tell you one guy who I think deserves a shot now, and he can replace Arias as far as I'm concerned, is Sean Kensey Noel, who's just looking as good as he's looked in his minor league career. He's got his average up almost 290, and he's just hitting home runs like crazy. I mean, he's on a crazy tear right now. I mean, he's still young. He's only 21, but I think he deserves a look here.
I feel extremely lucky to have covered the captains for BelieveLand 2 years ago, because I got to talk to and meet and get to know a lot of players like Gavin Williams and Tanner Bybee, and Tanner's dad Scott, just an unbelievably nice human being.
Yeah, great people.
And John Kensey Noel and Jonathan Rodriguez, and just all these players who we're seeing now, who are talking about, that are going to be coming up. We're on that team, and players that are in AAA who might be getting a shot here at some point. They were all on that captain's team. But I will say this: I'll never forget. I was writing my story, and I can't remember who was in the press box with me. I can't remember who it was, but they said John Kensey Noel he's got the sound, and I didn't know what the sound meant. And it meant when he hits a home run, you know it. You don't even have to look up. And this was, and I was like, oh, that's, okay. He cracks the ball, and it goes very, very far. And I was just typing up my story like a couple days later, and he was up the bat, and I wasn't even looking, and he hit it, and I was like, that's the sound. And I looked up, and the ball was just so far out of the stadium. I was like, okay, I get it now. He's got that kind of power. And I wish I could remember who said that to me. It was someone from a bigger publication that had only been there like 2 or 3 times. But he had seen Noel enough to know that he had that sound. So when he hits home runs, you know it. And that kind of power doesn't come along very often. And he's, it seems like, he did it in single A. Then it took him time to readjust in double A, but he did. Then it took him time to readjust in triple A, and he's done it. So is that next logical move to bring up John Kensey Noel? And that's very, very, and that could be extremely likely. I mean, he is just gotten better and better and better. And like you said, he's only 21 years old.
Yeah, and that's the thing with him. He's always had the power numbers, but his average has always been around that 220, 230. And like any young power hitter, he strikes out a lot.
Well,
this is the first
would
time
you?
he's really gotten that average up there, and he's making good contact, other than hitting home runs.
Well, let me ask you this: Would you take Kyle Schwarber from last year? He hit he hit 200, but had like 49 homers or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll take. I'm
Absolutely.
sorry. I'll take a guy who's hitting 200 if he's hitting 50 homers a year.
Yeah, if you're hitting 40, 50 home runs, then yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
That's acceptable.
Especially with our new left field, the way that ball's traveling.
I mean, isn't that right field?
Right field, you mean?
Or right field, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they also did the upper deck of the left field as well. But
The way the wind tunnel physics. I don't. You know what? Someone sent me like, and I was like, I don't know if this is real or it's some sort of shenanigans, but I mean, it's if it's real, then good for them, and if it's some sort of BS, then we just got a little bit more power this year. Oh, and one more thing, Jose, don't go into the freaking home run derby. This happens every year.
Yes.
Every
Stay
year.
away.
Me and Kevin have talked about this. I pointed this out to him. Every year, someone is bombing home runs, and then they go into the home run derby, and then they just stop. Something about the home run derby, like they might even win the home run derby, and then they just cannot. It happened to Vlad Guerrero. He was like second or third in home runs in the league, and then I think he hit 4 the rest of the year. Like the home run derby, it needs every other team go for it. Jose, Josh, nope, stay away from it.
That wind tunnel must have traveled down to Cincinnati last night on that Josh Naylor home run.
Oh my God, that was just a beautiful swing, though. That was a pretty swing.
He's looks like he was struggling there for a while, but it looks like he's starting to find himself again, thankfully.
No.
Yeah, the Guards were up 2-1 here, bottom of the 6th. Bybee gave up a home run. They took him out. Reds up 4-2 now. Still bottom of the 6th.
Damn.
He had 10 Ks too. Bobby had 10 strikeouts go before that home run.